Welcome back to Dial Models. So in this video I'm hoping to get the bike finished or very close to being finished. So this is where it's been left for a good few weeks now, and it's now ready for the bodywork and all of the associated pieces with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is attach the screen. So this here is the kit part and it fits in like that, and for the most part it will hold itself in. You see there, it's quite thick glass, but yeah, looks okay, reasonably. But I've gone and bought myself one of these. So I've never used these before. I don't know how to fit it or any tips or anything with it because I've never done it before, as I said. So bit of a learning curve. So I've also bought some window tint for it. So there you can see I've attached my my tint to it, which is quite dark. I think that was what we call 5%. So it, under the light, you can see, you can just about see my fingers through it there, but it's practically black, and there's no attachment points. So I don't know. One of the tips that I've been given was to use a very thin strip of white glue or PVA glue or something like that along the edge. Another tip was to use mobile phone screen tape, which is what I'm going to attempt to do. So I got some of this off eBay. I don't know if it's going to work, how well it's going to work, or anything, but we shall find out. So I'll let you come along with my learning curve. So I'm going to cut, if I put it on camera so you can actually see, I'm going to cut a very thin strip like that. Get a pair of tweezers. I don't know what this is going to do, how it's going to work or anything. That's very stringy and stretchy, so I'm not sure if that's actually going to work very well at all. So I'm going to try it a different way. So I'm going to cut a bit of a thicker strip. So I can actually get hold of it. And I'm going to attach it to this part. If I don't stick my fingers in it. So as I said, this is very much a learning curve for me. I've never done it before. So bear with me as I try and figure it out. But I thought you might be interested to see what I'm doing with it and how I approach it and potentially anything I get wrong with it. If I put that one on there, I'm going to cut another strip. I'll put that one on this side. And I'm going to get a pair of scissors. I'll just use my knife because I don't know where my scissors have gone. Ordinarily I'd use a pair of scissors to trim that off. So that's it applied around there. So if I peel this off, and we shall see if it actually has anything to hold to it, for it to stick to. method kind of works. So a little bit of cleanup required, but I think that will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the excess is tucked underneath. And I don't know whether this is a one-time application and with fiddling with it it's going to lose its stickiness, but I've got plenty more if that is the case to redo it. So yeah, now it's got a gap there, so I'm going to carry on working with that off camera, and I think I'm going to use that method because I think that works. It's just finding the best way of approaching it, but I think just doing it like that, so it's got that little bit of overlap on the top, I think it just needs some at the bottom there, which is missing. Use that bit that I cut off. Being that I've got that extra piece, I'll put that in there. Nothing like learning something new and experimenting on camera. So that cap's closing up. I've still got a little bit of glue residue there that needs cleaning up, which I want underneath. So I'm going to attempt to reseat it. So yeah. I think that might be the best I'm going to get it, as it currently is. Like I said, not having done one before, I don't know quite if that's right, how it's supposed to fit, if it's supposed to be recessed at all, or what the score is, but I think playing with it, I'm just going to keep making it worse now, so I'm going to leave that as it is there. So you can see it's neat enough, just need to clean it up a little bit from fingerprints and things. So that's that bit done. So I think that tint might be a little bit dark, but that was kind of the look that I was going for. I wanted the particularly dark look just to give it that aggressiveness. So yeah, there you go. That was a bit interesting. So yeah, next bit is, like I said, just putting all the little bits and pieces on and going through. So I've made a bit of a start off camera. So I've attached all the clear parts and put some bare metal foil underneath them just to help them stand out a little bit. So ready to actually make a start putting it together. So the first bit to do will be this piece here, and I'm just going to get a little bit of super glue, which I've got in the tub next to me, and I want a little bit, if you see on camera, a little bit in that hole there, and the same on the other side. Doesn't really need a lot, this piece, so that fits through here, and because I'm on the jig I can't fit it as the instructions say. The instructions say to turn the handlebars as you attach this, which for obvious reasons I can't do. So carefully prise it around. I know this fits because I have dry fitted it a few times. But as always, the final fit wants to struggle a little bit more. So that's that first piece done. Just need a little bit more super glue on the tub. So the next bit is something that I just dropped, which I don't want to do, is this piece to go on the front there, which sits just like that. So I'm just going to very carefully put a small bead of glue just around there, then that will slide on. And then the next bit is that piece, and I need to put on this little piece here, which I've not done. That sits on the top there. Like that. So I'm going to be very careful with this glue. Just a tiny amount on there, because I don't want to make a mess. Particularly don't want to fog up those clear parts. So that goes on there like that, and then that has these two holes in here go over there. So I'm going to use my cement for that, because I've made sure there's no paint on those parts. Again, so I can get a bit of a better bond on it without affecting the clear parts. So that goes on there, and I'm just going to adjust it so I can see. That fits on like that. And it's starting to get his face. So the next bit I'm going to attach is the gear adjuster. So for that I'm going to remove this post, just to give myself a bit more room to work with, because it wants to go behind where this is. So there's two mounting points, so get a bit of super glue. The first one is up there at the top, and the second one is on that piece there. So that's just going to fit like that. Make sure it's on properly. So that's that piece done, and then I'm going to start doing some of the bodywork. So I've got these pieces here, which I think you saw before. So I'm going to go and attach those. I've got that one there to attach, and I've got this one which attaches to there. So I get those glued up and let the glue dry off camera before coming back, just to give myself a little bit less time on camera waiting for stuff to. So while I waited for the glue to fully dry on these parts, something that I've picked up is these rivets, which are 1.2mm diameter, just to go over these holes, or into those holes. Looking at the reference photos, there's quite a few of them, and they're quite noticeable, so I've picked these up just to add some detail to it. So I'm going to go around as I'm attaching these parts and putting these on. So there's things on the bottom of the main fairing panels down here and things like that as well. So I'm not going to show you as I do them all. I just wanted to show you that I've actually got them and that I'm using them. So I'll come back once they're all glued in and that glue's all dry and ready. Okay, so just to move on a little bit, so I'm just going to attach these side panels now. Checking the do on that one as well. So one goes in there, like that. You can see those rivets in there now as well, which just add a bit extra detail to it. So, and then I've got this one. So then we get a bit of glue in there, bit of glue in there, and then just going to put a little bit on there that bottom piece of the other one attaches to. So I'm going in there and in there. That sticks at the bottom. So that's all nicely. I've also added the gauge cluster just there. So that's got the decal on it, and then I just put some Tamiya acrylic clear over it, just to make it look a bit like glass, but that's still a little bit tacky. So I didn't want to fiddle with that while I was on camera and end up sticking my finger in it. So I just did that off camera quickly, and I've just done that back of that seat rest as well. So next few pieces to put on, I've got the rear peg attachments for the rear foot pegs. So I'm not sure if I need to open these holes up, or I think it just needs a little bit of work on that. Okay, they just need a little bit of paint taken off those so that they fit. So do that off camera quickly. So that one goes in there, and then this side is still a little bit tight, as you can see. There we go. And then I can start attaching the other panels, which I've been looking forward to doing. So on that one, you've got the top piece there, and then underneath you've got a couple of mounting points that go around there. So I've already made sure that I've got clearance on those. But what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to swap out my glue to this one, which won't fog up. Because I'm using super glue, I don't want it to leave white marks everywhere like it has a tendency of doing. So I'm just going to use this other one for these other pieces. So put a bead around there, and I'm going to put some along there and along there. And that should give it a nice good strong joint. So just going to hold that in place. I'm going to go off camera while I hold that in place and do the other side at the same time. Okay, so I've been going around doing some extra details. So they're the bolts that I mentioned at the bottom there, and there's one at the front there as well, and I've done the same on this side. I've also added a couple of photo etched bolt heads onto the centre section, and I've gone round doing the same on all of these bits that I'd not done previous. So where I had screw heads, so down here for instance, I've put bolt heads and same on that one there, so it just covers up the ugly screws, so none of those are going to be visible once it's all finished and assembled. So next bit that I'm going to show you is the mirrors. So I've already assembled a chunk of it, so I've attached that bit to it, the arms attached, I've put the clear glass in there and some bare metal foil inside of it. So what I was going to show you doing was the reflective part of it. The way I do it is to remove that from there. I'm going to leave the R on there because it doesn't really matter. I'm going to put that, position it where I want it, and at the moment I'm only using a clear plastic to stick it to that raised edge, just so I can position it exactly where I want it. So that looks right to me. So what I want, if I was a little bit prepared, is a cotton bud, and I'm going to gently work that into there, and then I get a cocktail stick and push it down right into the edges, and then when you remove this, peel it away like that, and then you're left with this reflective mirror. So that's going to go in here, so one on either side. He says. I'm trying to be careful to not push that thing out, it just goes in, clips in like that. So I'll go off, do the other mirror, and then glue those in. And while I'm at it, something I'll point out, with doing this, the fixing points for the kit glass have these notches at the top here, and they fit into holes underneath here. And because this green came out after I'd started painting it, I didn't do anything about the holes, so I've had to put these oversized washers just to cover the hole. So the actual bolt should be a lot smaller, as you can see there, but to compensate for the massive holes that are there, I've had to make a compromise. So that's what I've done with those holes. So I'm going to go off, do the other mirror, and I'll come back in a second when I'm ready to attach some more bits. Okay, so that's both mirrors done now and attached to the front nose section, and you can see there some out, it's got some clearness to screen, you can see through it a bit. So next bit I'm going to do is the rear number plate attachment point. So as I showed in previous video briefly, I've cut this down so it was a lot longer, so it's basically just the indicators and the number plate holder now. So I'm not attaching the number plate yet because that's still drying, because I just finished that today. So I'm just going to run a bead of glue just along this edge, and then carefully hold the jig like that so I can see underneath it, and then just mount that underneath where it wants to be, and then I will attach the number plate at a later point along with the centre light. So just checking that looks right. So there you go, that's that bit. Okay, next bit I'm going to do is the foot pegs. So these are the resin parts that I showed you previous. So just put a bead of glue just around the edge of that, and that just slots into the hole there, like that. And then I want to do the same for the pinion one, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in there and squeeze that in there, like that. And then same again on this side. So that one. And then fit that one in there. Like that. So I think they look quite good with those resin pieces on. So what's the next bit to do? I'm not quite following the instructions as they are on here. So one thing I've not shown is the seat. When I was painting it up, I painted up the rear seat, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the cover for it, which I painted up with carbon fibre, because I think that suits it a little bit more. So I'm not going to glue that on, because I'm going to leave that as an option to swap at a later date. So what I've also done is attached this homemade tank protector, tank pad. So I'm just going to fit the front of that, and then carefully I can position this so that slots over the sides there, and then that front piece goes onto that notch just there. Bit of dust on. So that's the tank fitted. Again, I'm not gonna glue that down. I don't think it needs it. And I've got the seat that sits on there like that. So that's just got a couple of attachment points. You've got the pin there at the back and the notch there. You've got the notch on there and the pin at the front there. So these will need a bit of glue, because otherwise the seat will keep falling off, which we don't want. So it's just going to sit like that, and then I'm going to attach the side fairings, which really brings it to life now. So two notches, one at the front, one there, and the back one goes in here somewhere. The front one, if you can see, just above these bottom lights here is two holes, so there's one either side that they slot into. So what I found is slotting the front one in there allows you to position it where it needs to be. Need a little bit of persuading just to get it exact. Like that. And then obviously I've got the magnet at the bottom that holds it where it wants to be. And I'll do the same on this side. careful where I actually put my hand so I don't break anything. So that's where I want that. And then the last piece I'm going to attach now in this video is the nose section. And again, a couple of notches there, and it will sit just with friction with nothing else, but I will be putting some glue on just as sort of belts and braces approach, really. And now I'm trying to find where those line up. So there we go. That's the right, very almost finished. So that's all I'm going to do in this video. Like I said, I've just got the rear lens and number plate to attach, and then it's 100%. So there you go. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope you did as well, and following along with me. So I'll do another video once I've added those two bits on, just as a final view. But thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.